Hi, everybody. Good evening. This is R.S. Mallory. It is Thursday, August 17th, 2023. And tonight we're going to go do a review of how to sample the products with Govee. The first product that we can sample with the beautiful package is our WoW product. This is a 3-day supply. Our wonderful flagship product, the fuel tablets. Also, you can sample that out. And then this is not what the coffee is going to look like. This is the sample that I was given. This is the latte that I brought it home with me. I did get to sample it in Atlanta when we were in Memphis. But it's going to be a beautiful package. So that will also be great for sampling. So, Damar Zimmerman gave a training on sampling, and he reiterated to everybody that he has generated multi-million-dollar organizations through sampling. And many other successful people in network marketing have done that too. It's kind of a very old school thing. I did it 20 years ago. We had things like the appetizer diet cookie, and we had some kind of an energizer drink. And I picked up a few tidbits along the way too. So what I'd like to do is present Damar's way of doing it and then tell you the things that I would do a little bit differently. And then if you're listening into this call, the whole point that I'm going to do that is because we want you to personalize your sampling according to who you are, who your circles of influence are, and this is your business. So some people you might want to charge for the samples, and some people instinctively you might feel that it would be more beneficial and you'd get a better effect and result if you just gave the sample away. But in any event, I would not make a habit of giving samples away because you can go broke if you don't do it the right way. So Damar follows and subscribes to Randy Gage, who I remember Randy Gage when he first started years and years ago. And Randy says it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who knows what. What matters is you have to teach people what duplicates. And if you can teach an 8th grader, then you're off to a good start. Well, I was a teacher for 25 years, and I taught underprivileged kids, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd graders. And I can tell you that I always feel that if you can teach things on a 3rd grade level, which is a 9 or a 10-year-old, and if they can repeat it back to you, then anybody can understand it, whether they're a plumber, whether they're a PhD, whether they're a surgeon, no matter who they are. So the more you simplify things, don't try to make this difficult because it isn't difficult, whether you want to use Damar's system or whether you're going to personalize a system based on what I'm going to share. So what Damar does is, Damar is very big on using his smartphone and texting, and he feels that these days, because of the smartphones, people usually have about 900 or 1,000 people in their contact manager here. I don't happen to use a smartphone and I don't text. So he will text people, and I can go into my Gmail contact manager, which probably has 2,000 or 3,000 people in it. And I also have contacts from, recent contacts and also contacts that are 20 years old. This doesn't preclude the fact that you shouldn't always talk with people who you meet face to face. I went to the bank today and there was a new teller there, and I thanked her and we were chatting, and she happened to be obese. And I said to her, gosh, I said, is the heat getting to you? I just lost 28 pounds. And I know before I lost the weight, it was really getting to me too. We started up a conversation. I held up my postcard to her, and she confided in me that she was also going through menopause. So I listened to that and I said to her, gosh, I said, I have this product. It's a weight loss product, but it also has other ingredients in it. And a lot of the ladies who are taking it because it completely wipes away the hot flashes from menopause. And I have about 4 or 5 ladies who also have thyroid conditions, and the ingredients are all natural, and it also helps with that too. Would you like a postcard? And the information is on the back of the postcard. And she said, oh, thank you so much. How can I get a hold of you? So I showed her where my name and my number is on the bottom of my postcard. You could be using a a business card. And we chatted for a few minutes and it was very cordial. And then I did my business and thanked her very much and welcomed her to the branch. And then I left. So that would be instead of texting somebody. Now, what Damar does is he takes the first initiative. He will text people and he'll say, hi, how are you doing? Who do you know? And he gets right into it. Who do you know who would like to lose weight? And the premise, the basic premise for that question, who do you know who would like to lose weight, is about 80% of the people are going to say, well, I need to lose weight. And then he nudges them and he says, well, who else do you know? And they might rattle off, oh, my brother or my father or where I work, the ladies need to lose weight or this one or that one. But you're really aiming for is to get the people to say that they need to lose weight. The next thing that Damar does is he says that he has a weight loss product that's a sample. And I guess he texts them a picture of it. And he asks them a qualifying question. He asks them, if I send you a 3-day sample, would you be willing to try the sample and get back to me? And would you be willing to take a before picture with your weight on the scale and then an after picture after you get done with the first 3 days? And apparently people respond to him when they're texting. And then what he does is he sends them a cover letter and he sends the little package to them and he doesn't ask them for any money at all. Now, let me see here if I can screen share. And well, where is it? Files. I'm not going to be able to find this. Okay. He has a cover letter. I will send it out and it gives all kinds of instructions. It says, please get on the scale when you get this and text me or call me and let me know that you've got it, because then he's going to count 3 days. And literally that's what he does. And then he asks them to don't forget to take a picture, jump on the scale. Let's see how much you weigh at the end of 3 days, jump on the scale, take a picture and send it to me. And then when he calls them, he asks them how they did. And he asks them, remember all those people that you said you knew who wanted to lose weight? Well, how'd you like to lose weight and earn money too? And that's Damar's approach. My approach, if that fits with you and it resonates with you, and you know it's going to resonate with the people who you're going to be sending this to, then by all means do that. And I will send around the letter that Damar does. It's also in the Govy Club under the files. So you can get it there too. If you're listening in, you can go to the Govy Club. And if you are not yet a member of Govy, then get back with the person who invited you. My approach is a little bit different, ladies and gentlemen. I feel that if you bring value to whatever it is that your product is, whether it's the WoW or the fuel tabs or the coffee, if you put value to it, 100% of the people are going to value it and they're actually going to use the product. So what I say to people is, gosh, who do you know who needs to lose a little bit of weight? In fact, I just signed up a lady who I used to work with 20 years ago. She's a networker in the UK. And she saw one of my posts and she asked me about the WoW. And I said, gosh, I have some sample packets. I said, they cost me $100 for 10 of them. So they're $10 a piece. I'd be happy to send you a sample packet. You can send it to my Zelle and my email address is whatever my email address was. Would you like to do that? And because I know this lady, I said to her, the postage is my treat. Turns out 15 years ago, postage to the UK with a little puff packet was about $4 or $5. And I could be a sport for that because I know this lady's going to get a great result and that she's going to join my team and she will start networking. What happened was when I took it, she did sell me $10. And I said, that's terrific. And I also shouldn't be a total loss. I also included a packet of the fuel tablets, my treat. She didn't know I was sending them with the frequently asked questions because in Europe, they're used diesel and they go by the liter and there's 4 liters in a gallon and they're paying about $6 a liter. So that's about $24 a gallon. And I know that because I used to stay in this lady's house and I would go back and forth to England, Scotland, Wales, and Ireland 6 or 8 times a year. So she knows me. She was on my team before. So after the fact, after I sent it out, I said to her, I sent it out. Let me know when you get everything. And by the way, I also sent you a packet of our flagship product, the fuel tabs, with some instructions. Give it to your husband. So it turns out it cost me $18.50 for the postage, which is very high. She did send me the $10, so I know she's going to take the product, and I know that she's going to use the fuel tablets as well. Now, one might think that I got burned because it cost me $18.50, but the truth of the matter is, in the back of my mind, I know this person, and I know that they're a networker and a very good networker. So for me, you know, the cost of getting a new customer is much more expensive than keeping a customer or getting a new promoter. But in this case, the investment was well worth it. Again, what I did was she paid me for the WoW. And then because of her situation, I keep on dropping this, because of her situation, I knew that she would find value to our flagship product, which we had not even discussed. And I sent it to her, and indeed they have used it. She got the package 4 days later, and she called me and she said, I'm very excited about this. 2 days later, she wrote me and she said to me, oh my gosh, I lost a couple of pounds. It's just 2 days. I have 1 more day to go. How do I get to be a distributor? And will they ship directly to me? And how can I get these little sample packets? Because I want to have them too and send them to all my friends. Now, I did this on private messaging on Facebook because that's how I communicate with her these days. And ladies and gentlemen, if you don't realize that when you're on Facebook, you can pull up Facebook to try to do a private message instead of typing it. There's a little button there that you can click and you can actually speak with somebody. It's kind of like Skype. There's a little red dot and a little green dot. If you press the green dot, it goes boom, 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 boom. And if they're sitting at their computer or they're on their smartphone and they have Facebook Messenger on their smartphone, they will take the call on their smartphone. It doesn't cost any money. I chose not to do that day, but subsequently I have been following up with her. And we have been talking on Facebook, and it's for free. So indeed, don't forget, we are an e-commerce company in 60 countries. So anybody that you contact on Facebook, you can actually have a face-to-face conversation with them on your smartphone, or in my case, on Facebook. I was sitting here at my desk. So I was talking to another lady who was not on my team 20 years ago, but she was in the company that I was very successful with. And she has been a customer of mine in Govee. They bought 4 of the cards the first time around. And she and her husband are 81 years old and they love their cards. So she contacted me and I touch base with her about once every month or so. And I called her up and I said, hi, Carolyn, how are you and Charlie doing? And she says, oh, I'm so glad you called. I saw your post on Facebook about this diet product. Wow. Can you tell me about it? So I said, well, are you at can you take an email? She said, yes. I said, here's my before and after picture. I sent her the picture of me and Damar in January, where I was 28 pounds heavier and Damar was 78 pounds heavier. And I thought my face was all bloated and I could see that I had a tire around my waist. And then I sent her the picture that was taken of me and Smiley in Memphis a few weeks ago, where I had lost indeed 28 pounds. So I sent it to her. She said, oh my God. She said, that's incredible. Isn't that one of your vintage dresses that you used to wear 20 years ago? And I said, yes, it is. And now I can get into it because I've lost 28 pounds. So she said, what is it? And I told her a little bit about the product. And this is what I tell people. If you want to lose weight and you don't want to diet and you don't want to have surgery and you don't want to buy some ugly fake foods, then you should try our WoW, because it turns off the CB1 receptor in your brain. The CB1 receptor is responsible for the noshing and the munchies. And it also makes you feel good. It exudes a little of the hormones that makes you feel good. And that's one of the things that it does. It also helps the thyroid if the thyroid isn't working correctly, whether it's slow or whether it's fast. It also helps with symptoms for menopause because it deals with the hormones in that CB1 receptor. Very simple. Now, I might not talk about menopause if I'm talking with a man. But if I'm talking with a woman of a particular age, then I would mention that. Don't forget, you do want to keep this very simple. So she said to me, oh, I'm a customer. Could I be a distributor? This is a lady who 20 years ago was a heck of a marketer. She wasn't in my group, but I did train her in the company. And I said, sure. I said, you can, and there's no cost to upgrade, but you and Charlie are enjoying life. Why would you want to do that? And she said, well, I would like to try this product, and I have been yo-yo dieting my whole life. And the reason I'm telling you this story is if you learn to listen to the things that the people are saying back to you, then they are going to give you the reasons to feed back to them why they need this product. So she's telling me she has had a problem her whole life. She has been yo-yo dieting. And when my friends see that I finally lose weight with WoW, they're going to want to know what I did. Now, she's assuming that this product is going to work. Why is that? Because there's a know, like, and trust. There is already a relationship between Carolyn and I, not just because she ordered the cards and is using them successfully, she and Charlie, but because we go way back 25 years. Now, that isn't going to happen all the time, but there are ways to establish a little rapport with people when you ask them questions and you let them know that you have the solution to their challenge. Even with Caroline, the solution for her challenge was she's been yo-yo dieting her whole life. I had no idea. And so she handed me the thing that I needed to say back to her, you will no longer be yo-yo dieting. And so I said to Carolyn, my choice, my business. I said, Carolyn, I have sample packets. We send them out to people. I usually charge $10 a piece for them. Would you allow me to send you a sample packet and would you use it? No charge, Carolyn. We know each other a long time. She said, oh, that would be wonderful, RS. She said, and what's this glutathione? Because I think that would be great for my husband. I've been looking at it. So I said, I'll include a little information about the glutathione when I send your package. I said, and I'm only going to ask you one thing, Carolyn. After 3 days, I'm going to call you up and I'm going to ask you one question. Now, some people say, what's the question? And I giggle and I say to them, it's a really very serious question. I'm going to ask you, quote, are you hungry? And they laugh. Either they don't believe me or they think it's a silly question. And indeed, I waited 5 days before I called Carolyn. And, sometimes life gets in the way. I was talking with other people, enrolling other people, helping some of the people in my downline. And I called her back and I said, how are you doing? How's the weather? She's babysitting her great grandson 2 days a week. So I inquired about that. And all to point out that you don't necessarily have to jump right into business. You want people to know that you have heard them and you care about them, whether they want to do a business or they've shared things with you about their personal life. So when you repeat it back to them, like asking about Carolyn's great-grandson, she knows that I have heard her. And that's very meaningful to your prospects, ladies and gentlemen. Don't for 1 minute think that it is not. I used to work on index cards and write down information that I heard from people. And now I use a notebook, a 3-ring notebook, and I use pages. And I write down their lifestyle events, life cycle events, things that they're doing. I have jotted down that Carolyn takes care of her great grandson 2 days a week, stuff like that. It's very meaningful when you speak with them. And she said to me, well, she said, I just took my last WoW. And I must tell you, she didn't even wait for me to ask her. She said, I have to tell you that I've lost 4 pounds. This is fabulous. Can I upgrade from a customer to be a promoter? So I helped her do that. And I said, are you sure you want to do that? You have your hands full taking care of your great grandson, and you and Charlie are 81 years old. And do you really want to get involved in another business? And she said, heck yes. She said, this is very, very exciting to me. Again, she said to me, I have had a problem yo-yo dieting my entire life, and my friends are just going to see me lose weight, and they're going to expect me to go right back up, and I'm not going to, and I'm going to build a heck of a business. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will say to you that when you contact people, it doesn't really matter whether you know them or you just know them from Facebook, or you know them personally, you know them a long time or a short time, or even in Damar's case, you're just contacting people and you're texting them. Be sure that you listen and jot down personal things that you hear from them. What's their why? Why is it that they need to lose weight? Do they have a thyroid condition? Do they yo-yo diet? Did they have a tummy tuck and it didn't work? Are they going through menopause if it's a lady? Do they have a thyroid condition? That could be a man or a woman. All different kinds of things. Could be a fella who stopped playing pickleball every night or every other night with his friends because maybe he sprained his muscles or something like that. And he's been off his feet now for 6 months and gained weight. We just don't know. So when I call people back, I wait at least 4 days, even though I tell them I'm going to call them on the 3rd day. And I make a little small talk. It's not nonsense talk. I'm making sure that they're understanding that I heard them every time we chatted, and I'm using some of the information that they have given me that we've discussed. And then I say to them, are you ready for the question that I'm going to ask you? And they say, what question? Because they forgot. And I say to them, the question that I'm going to ask you is, are you ready? And they say, yes. And I say, are you hungry? My friends, when you ask somebody, are you hungry? They've forgotten the question, so it's totally unexpected. They just stop dead in their tracks for a minute or two, and they're thinking. They've been taking the WoW for 3 days. I have not had one person to tell me that they have been hungry. They will go on and say, oh my gosh, I haven't been hungry. In fact, today I had to force myself to eat something. I realized I didn't eat all day long. I feel terrific. I didn't eat an ice cream sundae that I usually eat every night, and I didn't eat the brownies that my husband brought home for me because they were my favorite brownies. And my clothes are a little bit loose after 3 days. I can't believe it. That never happened to me before. So from there, what you do is you say, that's terrific. And I always have a little conversation with them. And I say to them, that would be wonderful. If you'd like to continue your weight loss, we have several packages. You can purchase 2 bottles of WoW, or you can buy our high-powered package, which is WoW, POW, and glutathione, and I tell them what it is. Or you can buy our dynamic duo, which is WoW and POW, which would be better for you. So I give them a choice of 3. Most of you here who are listening to this training will have children or have nieces and nephews. And when you give children a choice, do you want to eat asparagus or peas? They will pick one. And they have to pick one. They know that. So when you give your prospect a choice, here are 3 different packages that you can have. And then they'll ask you, what's the difference in the packages? What's the glutathione? So then briefly just share with them that glutathione is anti-aging, but it also superpowers the WoW. And people are getting the very best results when they take the WoW and the glutathione and the POW. POW is a gummy, which is apple cider vinegar. And that's good for people who need to put something in their mouth and they need to chew it, or they need to suck on it instead of grabbing a brownie or something like that. And so you can tell them that is a great product. It's also very healthy. It balances out your body and it alkalizes it. So again, I don't care about putting something in my mouth and sucking on it. I'm not a candy person. Well, okay, this isn't candy, so you don't need the WoW and the POW. How about the WoW, POW, and the glutathione? Or would you just like 2 bottles of WoW, or a bottle for yourself and a bottle for your girlfriend, or a bottle for yourself and a bottle for your husband? Are you going to do this together? So always be fact-finding. Then they give you a response. I have always, for 25 years, said this. I have always said, that's terrific. Would you like me to practice good customer service and get your order going for you? Or would you like me to help you do it yourself? I'll repeat that. Would you like me to practice good customer service and get your order going for you and enroll you? Or would you like me to help you do it yourself? 99% of the time, people are going to say, oh, you would do that for me? And I say, sure. And I have a window already pulled up, and I say to them, we're going to put you on what we call a subscription, because like Amazon, when you buy something on subscription, it costs you less. And you can change it, or you can push the dates on it whenever you want. And it's the same price as a customer and a distributor. We don't discriminate against people. Would you like to be a customer only, or would you like to be a promoter, which is a distributor? It doesn't cost anything to be that. So they tell me what they want to do, and I just take all the information and I key it in myself for them. And then I send them a welcome letter with all of their information. This is what I do. Not everybody does that. Steve, I know you've been in the industry about 25, 30 years yourself. I know you've built $1 million business. I don't know if you ever practiced that kind of customer service, and you're shaking your head no. But I find that it further strengthens that customer service relationship that I have with my distributors, like Jill in England. You know, she wanted to do it herself, and that was fine, but she knew that I was going to ask her if I could do it for her. And she said, look, RS, I'll just do it myself. And that was fine. But people respond to you much better when they know that you're willing to put a little extra effort forward and help them. So again, there's 2 ways to do this. You can send the product for free, like Damar does, and ask them to get on the scale on the first day and the third day and take pictures and this and that, and do it by text, or do it by private message, or do it on the telephone. Or you can do it in person, as I did today with the lady in the bank, or the people at the gym, or you can do it on private message, or you can do it when you're talking with people on the regular phone, for people that you know. I always, most of the time, I don't give away samples because you will go broke. I use my instinct, okay? With my friend Jill in England, I guess my instinct was telling me the postage would be a little bit more, but I really didn't care about that. I just wanted to make sure that she was going to take it. And so if you ask somebody for $10 and tell them that's your cost, you're not making any money on them. There are other people in this company who are charging $15 and $20 for a sample of WoW. I don't do that. Damar doesn't do that either. He gives it away for free. But I don't want you wasting several $100s a month, because you'll probably, if you do this correctly, and the more you do it, the easier it will be. And it's not rocket science, ladies and gentlemen. You just ask people, who do you know who would like to lose some weight? And basically, then you follow up with them and you ask them, you tell them you're going to ask them one question. You ask them that question. You ask them then, would they like to be a customer or a promoter, which is a distributor? It doesn't cost anything to be that. I ask them, would you like me to practice good customer service and enroll you for you? And most people are fine with that. If you don't want to do that, then you can just shoot them your link and tell them what to do and put them in the system. In any event, please always send them some kind of a welcome letter. My team particularly knows what that is because they have it saved and then they can duplicate it. And you want to give them their username, and you also want to give them their password if you have it. If you don't, you just say use your designated password. So that's basically how we use samples. And again, we can use it for the fuel tablets and charge $20 or $25. In California now, they're charging, Smiley's charging $30, $35. And you'll also be able to do it with the coffee for $2 or $3 or $4 a cup of coffee. In the back office, we're going to have under Pro Tools where you'll be able to send out the WoW from the people in Utah. Will be able to send it out for you, and they will list the person's name and the date that they send it, and they'll just take the money out of your e-wallet. I don't know right now how much that's going to be. For my money, I will just keep on ordering quantities of 10 or 20 or 30 of the WoW packets and keep on charging $10. For every 10 of them that I send out, I get 8 people who become either customers or distributors. So for those people who have just joined us and you're listening for the first time, there are several different ways to do this. You can charge for your samples or not charge for your samples. Use your instinct. If you know who the people are, let your instinct dictate what you're going to do. I charge $10. You can choose to make money, $15, $20. This is your business. You can do it the way you want to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. We appreciate you. Don't forget, we not only have the WoW that you can use as samples, but the fuel tablets, and we will be having very shortly the coffee as well. Thanks for being here. If you have any questions at all, please get back to the person who invited you to this call, and God bless. Good night.